run for Krishna. That's actually in reality what it means to withdraw the senses. Yes, let the senses run, but direct them to Krishna. This is what Sankirtan is about. You speak, you do, you distribute Krishna consciousness simultaneously, and you realize very quickly that without sense control, not possible. You cannot become part of them, they have to become part of you. And therefore...
Sorry, we have a big rat. So
huh?
There's a big rat that don't run in the kitchen.
They don't run in the kitchen, there's too much action there. Is somebody there? Anyway. No, they are coming. You never had this one. We will have to do something. We are not very merciful. We are not worshippers of Ganesh, fortunately. Rest will have a very bad time here. If you see one, it's at least 10 behind. It's pioneers, spies. They send one, they are extremely clever creatures. To give lecture about breads, but it's when you have restaurants, you get blamed. So even you put up rat poison, they send one to taste. She dies, the rest doesn't touch it. They have one kamikaze volunteer who goes and eats the poison, and then the others are just checking out, is she dying or not? And if she dies, they don't touch it. So once you have that, you have a war. But I'm not saying this can be an accidental thing, it comes from the neighbor, who knows what, but
it comes from the Sunday feast garbage.
Something like that. It can be also. I'm wondering that we don't have more of this, with this kind of stuff lying around. So anyway, this is material world. Senses. And the sense objects, and finally we end up discussing rats. This is the aesthetic features of this material world. So the sad thing is that the senses cannot be satisfied. It doesn't work like this. It's just an idea. But the senses cannot be saturated. There is no such a thing like a perfect woman. As they asked one famous actress, how do you manage to look always so beautiful? She just laughed into the camera and said, you should see me when I wake up in the morning. It's total illusion. Total illusion. They like to do this sometimes, this newspaper, this paparazzis, to photograph the ladies when they come out of bed, through the window. And you can see what the beauty is. And we know the story of Liquid Beauty. It used to be a very popular story when I joined. It was played even as a theatre in a Sunday feast. You know the story of Liquid Beauty. So this is where the beauty comes. And this Grihastha Ashrama is the awakening time. John is awakened. Because it's very trivial in one sense. You park bodies next to each other, as they say in Czech Republic, and the children are sleeping, and the washing machine and dishwashing machine is working smoothly. The Grihastha is happy. There's peace in the house. Just the children are not demolishing anything, not running around. You can hear just the spinning machine, the washing machine, the Grihastha goes, oh, now the eyepiece here. What kind of piece is this? And then the children wake up and the washing machine breaks down and then you are in trouble again. Grihastha Ashrama is just about maintenance. Maintenance of something which guarantee falls apart. But there's a nature to it. There's a kind of satisfaction in itself that's described in Bhagavatam. One of the pleasures, strong pleasures in this material world is raising children. It gives you some heavy feeling. I, divided myself into many. I reproduced myself. Look, my offspring. They look like me, you see? They're similar even to me. Yeah, really. Just wait. And the offspring gets out of control, starts to live their own lives, and you get upset. But my incarnations are getting out of control. What is this? You are banned from the dynasty. You betrayed the dynasty. The incarnation got out of control. Well, another proof that we are not God. Because Krishna's incarnation are not only out of control, they are scheduled. And they are perfectly appearing in a perfect way to perform perfect leelas. Our leela is constantly, as described here, destroyed by the dictator of material energy. Totally. We don't even know what happens today. Who was planning a fire? Who was inviting a rat running over the courtyard? Nobody. They just come. What about if there's 50 behind or 200? They say you see one, there are at least 10 in the neighborhood, maybe 100. They come in great numbers. So what do we know about today even? We don't know what happens tonight. We don't know if we even survive the day. I had Golgottas who gave a lecture in the morning, very nice lecture. And 2 hours later died. There was no sign or indication it will happen. Just a lecture, that's a nice way to go actually. So this is because it's a detail, but in an ideal way you die simply the heart stops. Not this coma type, lying around in a hospital for months and this growing, Parkinson's senile, and where's my socks? This is a sign of simply bad karma. That's all. A real death means is to be amongst the farmers. I know a report from even Czech villages. The grandfather was going, I think I will die today. And he died. They're going, don't do this, grandfather. He said, I feel you should pray for me. I think I will die today. And he died. There was a warning. There was a strong feeling I'm going, that's more pious type. Even there were lectures nevertheless, but it's more pious type. But impious means you just, and then you become stupid and idiotic and you are in all kinds of institutions and you rot away slowly, gradually. It's all artificial. All this medical thing, this is very artificial. Even Prabhupada, especially in the Holy Dham, there was an incident where devotees saw a woman who knocked over a ghee-wok and burned herself really badly in the middle of Vrindavan. And they got to know it by the screams. They were going, what's going on? And then she was screaming, but not because of the hot ghee. She was afraid people will pick her up and bring her out of Vrindavan and she will die. So when they came to run to help her, she picked up stones and was throwing it on people, just leave me alone. And the devotee said, there's a mad woman over there. She burned herself with ghee and she's even throwing stones on those who come to help her. And Prabhupada said, she's right. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. She wants to die of Vrindavan, let her die of Vrindavan. Prabhupada saw many things very differently. I just said yesterday, a devotee in the early days dashed into his room with a newspaper from India. Indira Gandhi got stoned. Yes, she got stoned. In a village she entered to help those who suffered from a prolonged drought. There was no rain. And she came to encourage the villagers and they were just stoning her, It really injured her. She was glad to get back in that car and drive away again. Prabhupada, and they were going, this was serious incident, Indira Gandhi being stoned, what happened? And Prabhupada said, it's right they stoned her. Because they still think in a Vedic way. They expect that the king, or the leader, is in charge even for the weather, as Lord Ramachandra was. In the times of Lord Ram, even the weather conditions, people were thinking, like it's described, it's never rain during the day, mild rain during the night. It's never too hot, never too cold. So when this gets out of control, that means the king is not performing his sacrifices rightly, because it's connected. The yajna is not performed, that's king's responsibility. So they still think like this. So Prabhupada immediately started to preach to this devotees. You see how in India people are still thinking in a Krishna conscious way, in a Vedic way? The king is in charge. And he comes to help with what? People are starving, so there's no rain, there's no crops growing, they have no grain, they cannot eat. And she comes and, so they just stoned her. She got a big pile of stones flying. Because they think kings have responsibility. But of course, that's, completely out of the picture, because it's no more Vedic times, it's finished. There's no sacrifices being performed. I know how they was got popular in one town, the biggest preaching success. There was also an area in India that was completely dried out. And the devotees came and made a big harinam around the town, and the rain came. Everybody became Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna, it must be fantastic. They were all chanting like mad, But of course that's not the main purpose. But we saw this happening sometimes when devotees perform sacrifice or chant. Sometimes the rain comes, quite heavily. There's even a report from Bali where the priests are still so far qualified. They say, we have to finish the sacrifice in 2 hours because the rain is coming. With no weather report. No sign even of that. So you told me this, isn't it?
Actually, it was heavy rain.
You saw it?
It was in the middle of the rainy season, and there was always heavy rain. And then they had a party at the Four Seasons Hotel, so they got this priest to make a sacrifice. So exactly like half an hour before it stopped raining and it became blue sky. And then half an hour after the party finished, it started raining again.
You can say, oh, that's accident. Well, let's do it again. Let's have another try. They might be still like this, but you could say this is kind of magic. Yes, but if a man is qualified, he can. There is such a possibility. So it shows the power of yajna, sacrifices to be there. So here Ajahn is ultimately promoting the ultimate sacrifice, and that's the Sankirtan yajna. Because it's not meant to benefit some party in a hotel. It's meant to benefit people forever. It's like, we go today out, we should really try to distribute maximum prasadam. Why? Yeah. The economy is one thing, but the other thing is people really need it. They really need it. I can give you after the lecture, if you want, I can give you a lecture I had yesterday. Prabhupada strongly advocating the need of distribution of prasadam. Strongly, very strongly. Prabhupada started this movement not by book distribution, but by prasadam distribution. Book distribution came automatically behind, but that was the next step. The first thing he gave to these hippies was the holy name and prasadam. Even the lecture, even his first lectures are very long and very elaborate, but you can hear even on the recording the silence from the audience. It's amazing what a credit Prabhupada extended to the audience. Like I just heard a whole series of this describing Krishna's incarnations and early stage, very early stage. Long lectures describing technically, Purusha avatar, Lila avatar, all this, in such a detail. You could be sure in that period nobody knew one thing what he's talking about. Still, he said it like a blueprint. That's what you have to learn. That's what you have to understand. He said it. But the real thing was prasadam. Yeah, that was the real thing. That was what the hippies were going for. So this is, as John points out, beneficial for oneself and beneficial for the others. Automatically. It's connected. And the principle laid down here is that you cannot benefit yourself really if you don't benefit the others. It's connected. That's the mood of the whole Hare Krishna movement. Outside of that, very difficult. This is not very strongly preached, this egocentric introverted way of conduct Krishna consciousness, it doesn't work, and it will not work. And we don't see anybody becoming very happy by that. Simply thinking day and night. My deities, my Krishna, my spiritual master, and that's yours. When you think like this, it's very difficult to become happy. There's some comments?
This last thing about, it's also kind of more united movement in some ways, but I also remember some more united one movement like that. But
I remember.
And we had it was like here in Scandinavia and Europe, okay, we were one, and sometimes devotees had problems.
Whatever differences were there, they didn't touch the lives of devotees very much, because they were dealt on another platform. I was witnessing. I give you an example. Okay, there was a disturbance over certain areas in Europe regarding Sankirtan, particularly about Switzerland, which was considered like the heavenly planet regarding Sankirtan, but simultaneously very difficult to enter because there was a lot of police trouble. Because at that time Swiss authorities were really keen to keep Switzerland Swiss. Now it's also run over by foreigners, but really Swiss, clean, here. So whoever came in very quickly got in trouble with police, but it was still worth of it. I remember I was, illegally invading Switzerland. Not me, I didn't arrange for it, with my god-brother, Prabhu. He took us on a trip. That was the first time I was really sitting in jail in Sankirtan, in Swiss jail. For 3 days. He brought us to Switzerland. People had no even coins. I said, this country has no coins. We got only bills. Started, and franc is a very good currency. We got only bills. There was no coins. And he just asked for donation, monks. Yeah. But 2 hours later we were in a police station. But still we collected in 2 hours like the whole week in Germany. So, so it was invaded from all sides. And strategically, Europe was divided in a North European zone, which ended up in South Germany. That was eradication. And then, from there on, France, Italy, Switzerland was nobody's land. So that was Bhagavan. And there's a French Swiss, and there's an Italian Swiss, and there's a German Swiss. So Switzerland got invaded from these sides, by various Sankirtan troops who were just going for the quick money, who cares for the police, and exited again. So, and then it was more established that someone has to be in charge for this. So ultimately Harikesha became in charge for Switzerland, but the invading actions didn't stop. So I remember in front of me, he picked up the phone and he called Bhagavan. I was very friendly, good brotherly talk. He said, Haribol, Bhagavan, please accept my most obeisances. Hey, it was just reported that your Sankirtan party invaded Switzerland again and created a havoc with the police and everything, and exited again. And obviously Bhagavan explained to him, I don't know anything about it, I have a big zone to manage, I cannot control each single one. And Harikesha laughed really loud and sharp as he could laugh, ha 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 ha. And he said, Bhagavan, come on, you are God on earth, don't lie to me. Because when you know Bhagavan, he was acting like God on earth. So he said, hey, you are God on earth, don't lie to me. There was silence on the other side. I said, okay, I will check into it. He said, maybe you should. Haribol! And he put down the phone. So these kind of, troubles, they were dealt on that level. We didn't know anything, Sankirtan. We didn't bother. It was not our world. Our focus was simply, where is the next one? Who will get the book? Where's the next one who will get the book? So that's the reason why the results came out like this. Otherwise today we have the same circumstance, the same devotees. We don't have more stupid devotees, we don't have more crazy devotees, we don't have more spaced out devotees, we have no leadership. And that's the problem. Sorry to say it, very openly. Otherwise, the problems are the same. The devotees are the same. I would say even better. You know what a crazies I have to go with on Sankirtan? People who were just capable to eat their own socks. That kind of people. And they were like, I'm going to Kirtan. But because there was a completely clear line, they had shelter. They could take shelter. And all this blah, 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 blah. This was not their business. Now everybody blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no wonder. The minds of the people around are like a potato mush which fell down from the 7th floor of a building. Just splashed around. Too much spread. If you want to be focused and distribute something in the long term, you cannot have the luxury to sit down here on a table and discuss the structure of the universe, even that. Because it's nothing to do with you. Universe is structured already, great. We read about it, we get information, very nice, finished. What is this to do with you? Or you want to restructure the universe or what? So we learn. But there's something we learn, we hear from the Shastra, great, but what is this to do with my service? That's always the question. Where is my service? What is my service? What is my service? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Should I know Mary or not? I like this Mataji, but yesterday I like that one. I don't know. Which Vaishnava is the best? What shall I do? I don't know. Oh, I should chant Hare Krishna. Okay, I will chant Manidhara. I mean, you want to conduct your life like this? You can chant for millions of lifetimes. And because there was leadership. I don't want to go with Maharaj Shravis with his military logic, but he said, in the military it's established, even a bad leader is still better as no leader. Why? But else you should do, you will shoot each other. With no leader, a bad leader at least tells you, we go here. And then everybody shoots in the same direction. Without a leader, well, you will maybe shoot each other. And that's what we are doing. And when you speak like this, all glories to Denmark. It's the only place in Europe I can say this. Otherwise, big halabaloo. What do you mean? We should again stand all there? We had it all, and you see how it failed. That's another issue. Instead of discussing the quality of the leader, we dismiss the whole issue altogether. Oh yes, let's discuss the quality of a leader. But because we are now in the ages where maybe why don't you ask the rat what she thinks about Krishna consciousness? And she will say it's a great place. I like temple. It's full of this garbage behind. We come here all the time. I like prasadam. That's a big Vaishnavi. Bravo. So shall the rat become a temple president? Why not? So the same, she likes prasadam. She likes Krishna conscious rat. Hey, let's get serious. We have our scriptures, and every page of that Bhagavata is spoken by an authority. There is a situation of an authority, of a speaker and a listener. In Kali, everyone must be speaker. And then you get this kind of situation. There's no listeners, it's just speakers. Okay, then keep on speaking, but what? Where do you get with that? So we are not advocating a Nazi blind followership. Not at all. Our followership has to be there. Authority has to be there. Discipline has to be there. This is what Krishna consciousness Even Muslims, some of them, they start to like it. They feel more affiliated. Because they're not good. What kind of altruism? That's another thing. But they're not. So they feel like, oh, you are also like this. They have principles. And they go, you have also principles. You see, more and more Muslims are coming, taking prasadam. Vegetarians are doing. Because they feel we are standing for our thing. We are doing our thing. They do their thing. So this is unfortunately connected, and those places where still this is maintained to some degree, there is more effectiveness in preaching, and those where everybody is just doing their own thing, violating Ajama's realization that you have to give it to others. And the best way to give it to others is in an organized fashion. Because then alone cannot do much. Yeah, not even like Prabhupada. And even Prabhupada said again, no, I cannot do alone very much. Thank you very much that you are here assisting me in my mission. He really said that, Even it was ridiculous. We all knew we totally depend on His mercy in each single detail. But still, he felt like, yes, what can one old man do? Thank you for joining this movement and sending to assist me in the mission. And it's only because of his hippies shaped up and listened to him, this movement spread. Otherwise. And that's the only way also how to maintain this movement. So let's take it easy with this internet. Blah, 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 blah. It sounds very strict and it comes sometimes to say to watch your mouth. Americans, that means it's just before they shoot. Watch your mouth. No, we can say it in a very positive way. Watch your mouth. Because in Kali Yuga it's like this. People speak just something. And they hear it. First comes the speaking, then comes the hearing. There's no brain involved. And then by the sound they get really inspired. This is interesting. Look, I said something so genius, It's so nice. Maybe I should say more. And then they get, Prabhupada compared with frogs. They just make sound. There was this wonderful movie once upon a time where it published pictures from the animal world as illustrating the Srimad Bhagavatam. Somebody made such a movie. There was a picture of really packed pond with frogs. And they were like, and they blow themselves. And then you see suddenly a snake coming in. And there's a water snake, and it just goes into the water. Now snakes don't see one thing almost. They're almost blind. But they respond to a movement. So the frogs are they didn't even move their eyes. They just because they knew the snake is here. One movement, I'm finished. So there were no more sound. And then one of them was going, anyway, immediately the snake was taking him. Immediately. Prabhupada said, this is not your word. This is democracy. Blah, 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 blah. Next one, please. Can you say something? Yeah, I want to say something. It's quiet. So we shouldn't copy this. Our speaking and our thing should be aimed always to the same thing. To Ajama's message. How to bless others, how to spread Krishna consciousness, how to improve our service. This is all in the same line.